In the early 1970s, BMX was born on the West Coast. By 1974, this new sport had reached New Jersey. In 1981, what was to become one of the largest BMX tracks in the country opened in Howell, New Jersey. By the 21st century, this track would spawn one of the country's top freestyle BMX riders, several racing world champions, and one Olympic hopeful. This track is CJBMX. CJBMX and Bicycle World are two names synonymous with the BMX racing scene in New Jersey since the early 1980s. This is the story of Bob and Carol Gleason, the owners of that shop, and how they came to be involved in the sport.
Hello, how are you? The very first time we got involved with BMX was because of Hans Sterling, who was a local boy. He hung around the bike shop all the time. Was very excited about BMX from magazines that he read, and of course all the magazines were covering California and Arizona, and he decided that we should really get involved in this.
What happened was I took a rope and I walked out into the woods and around the way that I thought the track should go, and then I came back and I told Bob Seaman to cut all of the trees 10 foot either side of the rope, and Troy went up and looked at it and he said, no, we have to go to the right out there to make it bigger, and actually that's the shape of the track today. However, when all of the trees were knocked down, we asked Jeff Platt, what type of a track should you have? And he said, it's great, BMX is just the way it is.
I think BMX racing was a great sport. I never would have gotten involved in it if I didn't think that somebody who had absolutely nothing could have any old bike and get out there and get on the track and have a great time. The sport basically is not only good for kids, I think it's good for families. I think that it did a lot uniting. It made mom and dad show up with the kids. Their sister, their brother would go and cheer them on. I thought basically for the majority of families it did a lot of good.
The riders and their families are what makes BMX racing such a great sport. It's more than a race or an event, it's a gathering of people who truly love what they are involved in.
Actually, it's probably one of the best family sports going. You're not going to soccer here and baseball there and your family's separated. Your whole family gets to come to the track. It's pretty wild. It's really exciting. You get to meet other great families.
The one thing that I got out of this sport in the 8 years that I've been in it is it's not just an organization, it's really a family.
I think it's a terrific sport. The whole family's involved, and nobody sits the bench. There are no tryouts. Everybody wins. Everybody gets a chance to play. It's great fun.
The best friends I have in the world are all BMXers. Half my wedding party was BMXers. Half the people I still keep in touch with. I mean, I haven't seen one of my friends, Brian Lynch, in 2 years face to face, but I still talk to him every week because it's that bond you build. When you get in a car and you drive 6 hours, you know more about his wife and he knows more about your wife, and you just build a bond. I mean, you compete with somebody all weekend and then you have to get in a car and drive home with them after you've cut him off or he's cut you off, and then you have to put it aside and still ride home and still talk to him the next day. But the friendships you build are forever. I mean, I still talk to people I've raced with since I was 8, 9 years old.
It's a fantastic sport. Everybody's good to each other and it's very healthy for them. Keeps them active. And could be a 40-year-old rookie, see?
And in 95, after I retired, in 95 I came back. I finished 8th in the state of New Jersey, left the sport, came back in 2005, finished 3rd in the state,
And I didn't race last year because I started a business and I haven't had the chance to practice. But now that my kids have been after me, because I have three kids who finished top 3 in the state. I have a 16-year-old who finished 2nd, a 9-year-old who finished 3rd, and a 6-year-old who finished 5th. So I mean, that's a great motivation for me to start all over again. So I went to Woodward last week or 2 weeks ago, and none of us made it to the mains because we didn't get to practice the track. And obviously we've been off of the sport for a year. But we're back. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And we hope that not only myself but my kids, we all finish top 5 at least in the national level now. And maybe the state too. And it's glad, I mean, I'm really happy to see everyone just coming back, a lot of old school and new school. I mean, we serve to them as samples that it's never too old to practice the sport.
I enjoy it. It's a good family sport. I'm really hoping to get my son into it. He shows really no interest right now, but with me getting back into it, I'm sure he will. He's baseball, but hopefully I'll get him into BMX now.
Getting started in BMX takes nothing more than your typical BMX bike that can be bought at any bike shop, long pants, long shirt, and the willingness to try the track.
Basically, what happens when you come out to a track for your first time, 99% of the time you show up on a practice night, which is a Friday night, and you come up, you fill out a license, and basically what that is, it's a waiver that, you know, God forbid something happens, you know, your parents or your legal guardian, or if you're an adult, you're basically knowing what you're getting into. Whether it's a novice rider or an expert rider or you know, a good caliber rookie rider, the first thing you're going to learn is you got to fill out a license and everything is there, but somebody will take you out on the track very slow, bring you out a couple of times, bring you around the track, show you what to expect, what not to expect. That's a practice night. You kind of get the feel of what it is. On a race day, what happens is, if it's your first race, you're not left alone. You're basically, we have a beginner's clinic every week that it'll show you everything from reading a race sheet, which we call moto sheets, how to read a moto sheet, where you're supposed to be, what race number you're in, and all of that caliber. You're going to get into a gate with your same caliber of rider, whether you're a beginner, rookie, you know, a rookie, novice, or an expert. You're going to get into that age group and caliber, so you won't be racing out of your class. You know, you won't be outmatched. Obviously, the first time you're here, you're going to be outmatched. But you know, as time goes on, you learn it, and you know, after a certain amount of wins, you go to a novice. From a certain amount of wins after that, you go to an expert. But you're always pretty much in your same age and proficiency.
The first time I saw them on the track, I was a little apprehensive, but within 30 days or so, they were able to get around pretty well.
It was very interesting. It was a little frustrating at first. Believe it or not, Scotty was very slow going when he started. He started at 8 years old. He used to fall a lot. No, he didn't have very good bike control, and it was frustrating to watch him because he really wanted to do better. Scotty's pretty competitive. He enjoys what he does, and he likes having fun, of course. It's all about having fun, but he's also very competitive, and he got frustrated, you know, because he wasn't doing very well. So you know, thank God we stuck with it and we kept going with it, and you know, it's the most important thing, is to get involved in a sport. Even if the kids are frustrated, you're frustrated, you know, you got to stick with it, and things will happen. Nobody has ever started racing, stuck with it, and left not doing good. You know, there's so many people that I've seen that have started racing, and they're so slow at it, but they become the best, the absolute best.
As people progress and start to win, they move through the ranks, going from beginner to novice to expert, with many riders participating in the local track series and others moving on to the state championship series, which winds its way through the other tracks in New Jersey, culminating in a state championship race that takes place at one New Jersey track.
It's all a local race, then you get to a state race, and when you see him at a state race, and if he does good at a state race, you're walking around with your chest stuck out saying, you know, I got the best rookie in 11, you know. Then you go to a national race, and I remember going to a Christmas Classic, and they have the parade from your state, and it's like watching your kid in the Olympics. I'm getting chills just thinking about it now.
BMX isn't just all about who gets to the finish line first, though. Everyone who gets on a bike and gives it a shot at the track is looked at as a very important part of the sport, whether they are a 5-year-old beginner, a top expert, or an older cruiser rider.
Some kids just ride, and that's fine. I mean, that's what it's all about. The whole bottom line is you want to come have fun, whether you're jumping, riding, rolling, whatever it is. You just want to have a good time.
Here comes motor number 18, Redkowski.
Okay, I guess. But I'm having fun. That's what I'm here for. Just to have fun.
I don't know. I have fun. It gets me out of the house. It leaves my girlfriend alone for the weekends, you know.
I've been racing BMX since 1981. BMX has been a part of my life for over 25 years.
We got Sullivan, we got Kelly, we got Smith, Delizia. We got the guy, oh, I got the sheet my hand, I can tell you his name.
They come running over that turn, we're all screwed.
$500 to the man that crosses that line first. We got Jimmy Moore, we got Harley Kelly, we got Scotty Willis, we got Bill Delizia, Chris Felice, we got Jim Murray.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be a star. Gonna sing my songs and play my guitar. I'm ready. Gonna change the world, gonna turn the page. Gonna say what I feel and I'll get some rage. Get ready. We're going down on the streets, below. Gonna sing the songs of the streets again. Gonna run me on my feet to get ready. I sing a song to fallen angels. This will also love the unsung heroes. We're going down the city's below. 'Cause don't you know I wasn't born to fall.
What's your name, bro?
Tyler Pappas.
Tyler Bavis. What are you doing for BMX, man? Sounds like you're doing a lot.
Just trying to promote the sport, get more kids out here, you know.
How old are you, bro?
14.
14 years old and tearing it up.
Yeah.
Instead of Monday Night Football, I'd love to see Monday Night BMX.
BMX is the greatest sport in the world as far as I'm concerned. I love football and a lot of other stuff, but you know what? BMX will always come first for me. I got 2 nephews at home that I'm hoping to get into it by next year. Hopefully, if their parents let them do it, they'll be out here with me. Probably be a lot faster than old uncle too.